It's Wednesday. I'm Chelsea Bussemeyer. Thanks for joining me today in my workshop for this episode of Workshop Wednesday. And who doesn't like a good remake? Whether it's a home reno remake or a garment remake. Now, if you follow me for any length of time, you've heard me talk about personal preference in fit and style, and also just about patterns and how to pick the right fabric pattern for your garment. And this particular top I did not make. It was a gift and I absolutely love the fabric, but I don't really like this garment. It really actually makes me feel like I'm wearing a nightshirt. It's longer in the back, a little bit of a tunic style. It's super cute for some kind of skinny jeans maybe, or leggings, that kind of thing. And I think really the main thing that makes it feel like a nightgown is that it has so much white to it. Whenever you're working with a bold pattern, even if it is a fabric that you absolutely love the look of, I always say unwrap or drape kind of the same amount of the fabric over your body and just see, do I like this amount of fabric or this amount of the design, and do I like it on me? The other thing about fit and style and personal preference in fit and style is simple things like the length of this top. So today I'm going to play around with it a little bit and try and find something that will, some adjustments that will actually make me want to wear this garment, because as I said, I love the fabric. I do like the idea of it, but I never pick it. It never comes out of my closet, even though I like it. I've been playing around with it a little bit before I turn the camera on, and I'm finding that if I just shorten it up a little bit, both the front and the back, I like it a whole lot better. But it still feels like quite a bit of white in the front. So my new idea is I've pulled out some lace. So this is a scrap that I have from a wedding gown that I made, and it has this beautiful kind of scallopy edge to it. So the little eyelashes and rounding across the scallop. And what my thought now is, what I should maybe do is shorten up the front a little bit more than I first intended, and add maybe a couple inches of this scallop just in the front, and then still have the longer back kind of in the back. I'm thinking I'll still wear this top with leggings, that kind of thing, but I don't want it to be hanging down so low. It's almost kind of getting to the mid of my thigh. I think I'm going to just shorten it up so that it just kind of covers my bum and then ends there. So let's take a look at what this would look like on the table and the techniques that you'd use to do this adjustment. So here we have it laid out on the table. I've lined up the side seams so that I can cut both the front half and the back symmetrically. We can see here how the back has a little bit extra length compared to the front. And I just have a pin placed at the height I want in the center front and the center back. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit of a straight edge right at the beginning and start to curve down. I'm going to unstitch the little slit that we have here and just extend the side seam straight, just that extra inch. And then I'm going to go into a curve to swoop down and have some extra length in the back. Next, I'm going to cut the length, and I found out I want to have about 3 inches of lace, maybe 2.5 on the inside of the scallop, 3 on the outside, and this lace is just going to go straight across the top, and as it fades down into the scoop at the back, it's going to fade out. So the lace is going to taper out as it feeds into the back. So I'm going to stitch that on to the hem. And in the back where it's not having the lace, I'm just gonna copy the original hem that we have here and just fold it over in a really narrow hem and finish that off. Okay, so let's take a look. I cut the pieces, cut the the new hemline, and then I actually just roll hemmed it. If you haven't seen my Workshop Wednesday rolled hem video, definitely check it out. It is such a fast way to finish an edge. It's a teeny tiny bit narrower than the original, but still wide enough. I have two different widths, 1/4 inch and an 1/8 of an inch rolled hemmer, even though I think the 1/4 inch is a little narrower than actually a 1/4. Doesn't matter. It worked really well in this material, and then I just stitched the lace to it. Originally I had thought I would serge, like overlock the lace and the hem of the fabric together, since this fabric would fray, but I couldn't find my thread for my overlocker, since I'm kind of in the middle of a move right now, or at least moving my studio sewing room, and yeah, so they're packed away. So I was just like, you know what, a roll hem would be really nice here. And this is just a great example for the technique not being the most important part. The most important part is knowing the variables, like what it is that the fabric needs. This is a frame fabric, as well as your use and what the look is you want to go with for wash and care, and also for the look. Now you might have noticed when I cut out the lace, I folded the center at the center of one of these little scallops, because in the very middle of the front I wanted it to be the middle of a rounding of a scallop. So that usually is kind of a nicer look if you're working with scallops, to have the center be the down or the rounded out part, and then scallop off, kind of like an offset amount of scallops when you're looking at it. And then I just cut it square so that I could fade it out however it needed to be stitched on. So it's stitched on right now. So let's take a look at this. I have it stitched on here, and we have a little bit of extra length. So I'm gonna just trim this off. I've faded it out along the side. Here's my side seam, and I wanted that lace to just taper out a little bit longer. So I'm gonna trim off my extras and then slip this top on. Now I don't need to finish off the edge of this lace because it doesn't fray or ravel at all. So that's just gonna stay raw on the inside and be perfectly fine. Here you go. What do you think? Well, there you go. I'll have to post some extra pictures in my Facebook group. Even though I'm not a selfie taker, I guess I'll have to get into it so you can see a little bit more kind of the before and after. Now it feels more like a blouse, it feels more like a top, a little less like a nightgown. I really like this little bit of lace we added. I still like the extra length, as this is a great top to wear with leggings. And as I've adjusted it now to just fix those things that were just kind of off for me, I think it will be way more of a grab and go kind of top, rather than a top that ends up just living in my closet and not being used. And this is one of my favorite things about sewing, about being creative, is you can move things around, change things around. You don't have to leave them the way they are. If you can kind of pinpoint, figure out what is it about this garment that I'm not liking, that's not working for me, and what can I do to change it or to adjust it. So what do you have living in your closet that you're never putting on but you like to wear? I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love to brainstorm with you. So post a picture in my Facebook group and let us know what it is about it that you're not liking, and we'll be happy to give you some ideas. I'd love to brainstorm along with you, or post a before and after of something that you have kind of remade or redesigned. Until next week, happy sewing and take care.